Hello, welcome back.
TMI.twitch.tv USERSTAT number 5 TH function at emo dash only equals 0, followers only equals -1, R9K equals 0, rituals equals 1, roomid equals 48,679,466,
Should've waited
slow
before
equals
popping out
0, subs only equals 0. ROOMSTAT number 5 TH function.
Anyway, what the world am I doing? Modeling a spaceship thing, that's what I was doing. This is how far I go with that. Did a bit offline. I can't figure out what things should be. Everything needs to be something which doesn't directly show where the lights are, but lights can still be a thing, which is what I'd like. Figure out what things should be though. The polished metal thing is the best I could think of. There you go, so there's the so you got filters with fans, you gotta replace the filters, otherwise, I don't know, the fan breaks, then you need a new fan if it gets real bad or something. And, I don't know, it's supposed to be the oxygen filtering thing, because why not? Tanks with the water in them, which I can't show, it's got like a smudge map on it, but you can't see the smudge map thing because Blender's weird. That's the best design of a floor I could think of that wouldn't show direct lighting. Light shining out, because it's most noticeable on the floor. And everything else is just a brushed metal thing, because I couldn't think of what to do. I was thinking like cement for this thing, but why did you have cement on a spaceship? Good metal. I need some sort of a metal plate thing, but I don't want to have to manually create materials for everything. This brushed metal isn't very good. But I don't know. What am I doing? There got 1, 2, 3, 4 textures in this room now. Okay. So with 4 textures, I mean that's multiple textures. We don't have multiple objects though. It will all be the same object. I guess I need to separate out objects of things. I want some things to be highlightable, like the handles or the door. I don't know. I'm gonna make what's behind them, but I'm not gonna care about that. Absolutely no clue what to do about the consoles. I got fuses, but I can't think of any good way to do fuses. How in the world do you got a fuse? Like, why is there fuses? What breaks a fuse? What reasons would you have to replace them, and what happens if they're broken? I don't know. So, yeah. Okay. What else could I do? That appears on the streamy thing, right? No, it didn't. Who knows if it'll appear this time? Oh, it did make all the sounds. Okay, so it makes all the sounds, something went wrong. I gotta figure out why that thing's appearing so I can get rid of that. Whoa. I could also try to do some sort of displacement thing And that's something I want to do. Which would just be something along the lines of if the texture is something or other. Like, it'll look at the color of the texture, and then if the color is a certain thing, then it will look up, down, left, or right of that texture. And grab the pixel there rather than the one that's directly in the UV space. I don't know, I feel like that's sort of how it would work. And nothing to do with the reflection space, probably, I don't know. Or the normal. And then I can make it look like a normal texture. Displacement, which would just be globally done. So yeah, just look like a displacement. But only in the one axis. I don't know. What else could I do? Oh yeah, I need the... No, it's a door. Okay, let's make the door. That's something. Something's a different object, but whatever. Door. I also feel like the door frame for the room should be smaller. Door's like this whole area, isn't it? So how big should a door be? I don't know, I can just adjust as needed. Like something's missing. How many faces is this thing? Apparently 400 now. I feel like the handles are real high poly for some reason. I mean, I guess they sort of are. But that area in general is the highest poly area. Oh, that one worked. I still want to bevel that edge, but I can't. Ugh. So I'm thinking doors like that, maybe. I don't like that very much, though. You do something fancy. Like, what if, What if they open like that? That could be a thing, but I don't want the hole in the ground. So if that opened like that and the other one twisted up, the doors would open and close real quick. Where if this was just sliding to the side, then it doesn't have any benefit from being two halves. It would take just as long to open as if it was just one half sliding to the side. I would really like it to go up and down, but up and down's weird. I don't know. I could do anything I want with the doors. I could make them real fancy looking if I wanted to. So I could do something like this, or I could have two halves. So the opposite triangles on the other side, they could both open. A little square in the middle that grows bigger. That's the way I think about it. I could make a... cut it again. It's just how do you get the bottom part away from the person's feet without it sliding down, creating a hole, which is why I don't think it would work. I mean, I could make it into like smaller triangles, and the whole lot can move out. But then, yeah, what does the ground one do? What if they did the pivot from the corners and went out? So it's like split down there and a triangle there. That one pivots, these two pivot. I don't know, that just seems like a terrible design for a door. Let's look at sci-fi doors. Where'd everything go? Sci-fi doors. That is a really fancy looking door. What the world does it even do? That would look nicer, I guess. I could have parts like moving in and then out. I could do all sorts of stuff. What is the door? The door acts as an airlock thing. If there happens to be a leak, you know, not as if that's going to be a feature, but if it was. Ah. I think I get great signal with that door. I mean, it's something you're gonna see happen quite a lot. So I'd rather not have it as an overly complicated sort of a thing. Or I could just go for the generic 2-split door thing. I don't know why, but I sort of feel, where's the drawing thing? There we go. Where'd it go? Where's the code at? Sort of feeling a, wow, extra crooked door. Like that sort of a design? What do I want the opposite of that? Good enough. That sort of a design. It could also be a fancy one. Imagine this triangle moving down into it. And then it opens. I don't know. Well, yeah. But then that doesn't have any opening speed performance boost. What even is that? I mean, I guess. It's like, this part just moves straight sideways, where this one pivots around the corner. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like something with layers. Like the whole... that sort of thing. So we got one triangle on top, and then the other triangle underneath. I mean, I guess I could do that with the... Nah, I don't like that. I like the inwards one better. Whatever. I could do that sort of design, so it's two halves of a thing. And yeah, so you got like one whole half in the front and then one whole half in the back. And what would that even mean? So it's like two doors. And again, you don't get the speed boost, but as one door slides open, it would just be revealing the back of the other side of the door, and then that door slides open. So you push the door, and it's like a shunk, which would make sense sound, because it's like two metal sheets sliding against each other as it opens up. Nice shunk sound. Squishy. Chunk is locked in a position or something, I don't know. But the idea is you don't want like lots of area behind. And if you split it in half, then you've only got half one side, half the other, rather than all of it one side or the other. Which is sort of... I mean, I guess it works. So what do I want the split to be? Do I like it like that? Do that sort of a design? I'll do door. Just undo, can't I? And I guess halves or thirds, I don't know. What? Okay, sure. Yeah. Sure. Why has that got an extra velocity? Okay. Alright, it's a door. Yeah. How long should it take to open? I want it to be fast, not too fast. 20 frames. I feel like I want to keep that there. That's nice. Swoosh. That looks nice. Swoosh. Swoosh. Yeah. I guess I could have them closed now. I'll have to see where the door frame is. Oh, that looks cool, I guess. I like the extra layer. So what's the height of a player roundabout? Very wide door, rather than tall. This high? I feel like wide doors would be a thing on a spaceship. Great! Well, how in the world do I texture this damn thing? I mean, I could just go with the diffuse white. Need a bevel on that edge. I feel like I should do it as a mesh. Doesn't look at all. What's the button? Ah, it'll do. That bevel will dramatically increase poly count for hallways though. What do we add now? Yeah, that's not right. Can't see. So this thing's 400 triangles. And this thing's 40. I'm assuming that's probably going to be the same. 40. 40 times 4 equals 160. 406, I guess. So that's 500? Only 500? Okay, 566 faces. Plus 40 times 4 times... How many doors would there be in a hallway? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, I'm already there. Oh, I don't want to mess with that one. Okay, where's the other one? Oh, this thing's still running. Existing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Oh, what? That's not right. According to that, there's will be 2016 faces. That isn't right. What? Hang on. Let me do it again. Oh, it wants me to open up the door. So how many faces can 40? Yeah. 40 times 4 faces. Well, I suppose I only need one side of this to exist. I could even make an even lower poly version of it, so I could have like LOD thingies. If the door's not being opened, then there's only one face with the bevel in it. And then when you interact with the door, it swaps that out for both halves of the proper mesh. So I guess that would drastically reduce things. But what was that again? Wow, so that's 1,060 faces for 10 of these doors. That's crazy. Otherwise, what would that even be? Oh yeah, I don't need the tops of the doors either. Or the back of the door. Or the bottom of the door. I'm going to do that to each one. Lowers it a little bit. What's it now? 32, whatever. So what would be the low poly version of it? Low poly version would be that. Okay. And that is 10 faces? What is that triangulated? Why does it tell me triangle selected? Okay, well, there we go, quads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, sure. 1 6 times 2 is 32 times 10 is 320. Okay, that's within the poly limit. Only just. Okay. And that's 300 for that, plus 400 for the inside of this room. I guess minus one lot of this. So 32 times 9, because... Well, the door that exists would be even higher poly. Okay. Well, instead of doing a bevel, I could just paint it on. I'll drastically decrease the poly count. Yeah, we're back. And back. Can I just undo? Yep. What? No. That's rather annoying. What about that one? Nope. That one? Nope. I'll get rid of the bevel. Create that side again from scratch. Need an unbevel. Just have to recreate that face then, I guess. But on. Oh. Okay. Alright. Oh, it's not too far. Yeah, there we go. It's annoying. I don't want to delete them because whatever, animation gets lost. It was easy enough to make. And it's also the wrong type of animation anyway, so whatever. It's just annoying because oh no, that shouldn't account for rotation, should it? What? Hold on. I'll just rotate them. I mean, I can, but whatever. Maybe it'll line up. What's that? Okay. Where'd the rest of it go? Really annoying how OBJ files don't contain object location. Weird. Why does that one face not exist? What is that? That's alright. Oh, okay, it's going the wrong direction. Yeah. Good enough. Okay. Oh, great. Whatever. Why is that one face not changing? Wait, what have I done to the floor? Damn it. Damn it, again. Come on. Sure, why not? Everything's got a brushed metal finish to it. Except for the doors, which don't have any texture. I don't know what I'm going to texture those things. Why is everything off to the side by one? I guess I am going to do it like that. Now it's like a thin door. Whatever. Door be doorin'. Okay. I mean, some of that never got UV'd. I didn't have it. I had it hidden when I unwrapped it, so it didn't get unwrapped. Uh. Now what do I do? And it's good enough to test things with. I mean, I got an animation thing. It's a separate object, interactable. Not gonna worry about the rest. I mean, I guess I could separate out the doors. So that becomes interactable. I guess that whole thing can be interactable for now. And then supposedly each individual one of these things is also interactable, so... How did that just take me out of edit mode? Damn it. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, what? Is that supposed to be separate? Oh, maybe everything's fine. No, I think that just shifted it back to the unhidden layer. That'll do. Why does that move so dramatically? Whatever. Okay. I suppose that's good enough. I don't know how high poly the whole thing is though. It just says 494 tries now. Is that correct? Was it saying like a couple of thousand before? Suspicious. But yeah, that's good enough. 500 is what I want the limit to sort of be. The only difference would be behind these things where I have like the manual controls for stuff. And I don't know what that's going to be looking like yet, so that's that. But if you interact with any of these things, then the doors will shut behind you to stop everything else from loading. So you'll only have this room existing, and that's well within the poly count, so it's real easy. I feel like I should have a time thing with the doors then, so you interact with the door and it'll open, but then it'll automatically close after a certain amount of time. Just because why not? Doesn't need to, but whatever. And then if you interact with something else, it'll just automatically close immediately. You won't even play the animation, it'll just be closed. I don't know, whatever. Okay, now how am I going to do this? Problem here is this whole thing's part of that. I didn't make a duplicate of the original when I started it either. Well, I've only got one little layer thingy left that doesn't have anything in it, so let's put it over there. That one. Should be everything, but I think I got some duplicates of that. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Okay, let's also try to make all of this stuff correct. Is that gonna mess with things? I feel like it's gonna mess with things. Origin to geometry. Yeah. What? Where'd the other half go? There. Whatever. Ah. It's not quite lighting up. Of course it's not. Why would it be? What? Why would you do that? Whatever. What? Huh? There we are. Totally not how you'd actually do this. It's supposed to be done with key shapes. First off, I suppose, let's just delete the keyframes then. And if it's going to be done with the key shapes, let's make the origins all the same. Put it in the middle. And supposedly, how do you do this again? I don't really mess with key shapes. I feel like it should just be an option in here. Shape keys. Shape keys. Oh, it's that much? Maybe a little bit further. Uh-huh. Let's just hope shape keys actually get exported out. Okay. This will be a linear or whatever. Yeah, just linear. I like the other movement, but I got no clue how to animate that. Looking for it. Well, that's good enough. Is that linear? I think it is, isn't it? I don't know. What else could I do? I mean, I could have them opening and closing or something. But I'll do for now. Yeah. Okay, where is your location? I sort of want everything to have the same location. Those would, any moving thing would have to be relative though. Oh wait, also just shape keys. So, it'll be wherever they want to be. So everything could just have its origin there. And then I can just set everything to be the same location. Okay. Sure. Wow, sounds good as times any. Should probably name the textures a bit better, because you do understand the textures, right? You just understand material in UV. How does that work again? No, I do believe you understand each of these things. Okay. Everything's all separated, so I don't need everything anymore. Ow. I don't like that sound. Every single song has to have something in it. It just ruins a perfectly good song. Fireman, apparently. I believe all of that is just brushed metal. That's alright. Wait, why did it select? Okay. I think that's everything. Okay. Have me a room. I'm so doped. I just want to watch anime. Waited 4 weeks. 4 weeks I held off watching all the new anime, and then yesterday I watched them all. 4 episodes over 5 different series. I watched them all and now I'm completely out. I hope for them to get dubbed before I did that. Man, some of them are hilarious. Oh, they're all so good. I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like the roof should be something. Also, I don't have any lights. I guess I'll add lights. Last thing. How do lights? I mean, lights I'd imagine is just a area with that emits light. It's just built into the ceiling, rather than something that actually sticks out of the ceiling. Space light. Spaceship light. What lights are on the spaceship, actually, on the ISS? I imagine they're all just LEDs. What does Enterprise mean? Undertaker. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with the designs I think it should have. Whatever comes to mind first, that is. Just little square lights. I was thinking just long ones. There you go. I mean, I want to bevel them, but I don't need to. Just increase the poly count. Yeah, I can afford it. Two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. What you chirping about, kitty? What are you doing? What's going on? Gotcha. Good enough. Okay. Is that it? Ugh. Do I include engines or not? I don't think I do. Maybe I do. I don't think it does anything. It's normals. I don't think I need any more normals on it. Is that somebody watching on DLive, or is it just bugging out? Well, there's no, okay. Maybe I want to keep vertex order. Because I could just have two OBJ files of the individual objects that have the animations, and then it just blends between the two different locations they happen to be at the time. As long as everything's all kept the same, then the vertices should be the same vertices for both of them. But I've got the feeling that an OBJ might be doing special correction-y whatever optimization junk, which maybe keep vertexes gets around, but I don't even know what the problem is yet. And that way I could just have like a 1-2 sort of a thing, so blend between 0 and 1 or 1 and 2 or whatever. Chirping around. As soon as I give it the slightest bit of attention, she just walks away. If I follow her, she gets angry. I did have the scale as 10 before. I mean, the scale's completely irrelevant. It's just an arbitrary number. I guess that's what I've got everything sort of based off now, actually. I sort of have to do that. I mean, I could just import it as a times 10 to everything start. Well, let's just set that. Whatever. Wait, is this exporting everything as one thing? It is, isn't it? I want to go redo all the settings again. I did say only selected, right? Got the feeling I didn't, but whatever. Wait, I made a thing to literally do this for me. Okay. More objects to import. It does it all at once though. I could stagger the loading of level stuff. Just because it would give the loading screen a whole lot more to display. Wait, is this the moss or the glass? Look. Box. The box that all the boxes go in. I don't actually have the inside of that. No, the insides were part of the thing. I'm gonna separate those. Whatever. I think I got all that right. I feel like I just messed up that other door. Yep. I think I messed anything else up. Uh-huh. That seemed to take a little longer than it should have. Also, where did that just export to? Oh yeah. What did I just call the new folder? Space Food. Oh, that was all good. Only LS things? Wait, what's all this? I don't know what any of that is. Do I have hidden objects? No. What is not being? Oh. Oh, okay. Because it was back face. It's all hidden. Okay. Sweet. I'm gonna post a jar. We ask questions if you know what's going on. Okay, so that should be all good now. So, what's gonna do if I just straight up try to load this up? I don't have all the textures and things. I think everything should be fine. Well, I think it's gonna error when it finds the textures don't exist, but wrong folder. Huh? Oh, I can only go one level deep, can't I? Fix that, but for now it's fine. Does it ignore capitals? Okay. Oh. Take but a moment to upload. What did I call the folder? Oh, LS, not LF. And I felt like something else highlighted when I highlighted that. Okay. I'm just dumping it through that random variable. Okay. Is it L? I said FL or whatever. What am I doing? Life support, LS. So let's find the spaces. Okay, so that should now attempt to load that file. All of those objects and stuff. Which is then going to have a problem when the textures it's looking for do not exist. I don't have them compressed down. Where am I want to think? Let's see what happens anyway. Oh yeah, none of that's a thing. Where'd you go? Where did I have that happening? That should be importing, which should be all fine, I guess. In the unit game. This thing's the thing that's not right. I make an entirely separate one of that. We don't have any clicking things at the moment. So there should be just a 4 BJ in that. That'll do it. First time that occurred anything in a long time. Apart from that thing that I did crouch. Okay. All the models are here. So now the right texture. Because I got that universal texture currently. Okay. Weird blinking things again. Okay, so how do I make it not the universal texture? Why does that not look right at all? That's entirely wrong. Badly wrong. Okay. That seems to be working well. Okay. Okay, because we don't have proper texture stuff yet. It's just assuming everything wants the same texture. What texture should I give it? I guess I'll give it the brush metal one first. I'm assuming that's probably good enough already. I don't have to do anything to it. How big is that? 310 kilobytes. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I just upload that straight up. Hang on. Alright, so how am I going to do this? I need multiple textures. Which means doing the whole dynamic texture atlas thing and finding all of that stuff. Okay. Does the material say what things are? Well, sort of. That's rather annoying. Why does it bother with all of that? I don't want any of that. I just want the texture name. Okay. Did I already build a thing to separate that? Probably. Split it at what? I guess that's split in there. Oh no. Yep. Alright. So that's split in there, which is just getting this part of it. And then I want to ignore any of that up until there. So I'm assuming backslashes are only for that. That one's got double backslashes. Whatever, I don't care about that one. We've only got a color, we don't have a diffuse. I don't know. Where'd it go? So split that, splice that. And we sort of just need to do that again. Do you work? I don't think that works for some reason. I was trying to do that before with the chat thing. Oh, apparently that works. I don't know what the problem was then. Alright. So in this case, I'm assuming this is going to be that thing. Well, we want everything else left over. So that dot join. That's how that works, right? Well, no. Do I need to say this equals that join? I think so. And then I want to split it that, and then I just want the last one. Okay. And that should just give me that. And that would be the name of the file I want. Okay. Tabbing around. Except this is the color, this is the texture. Oh. Is KD something? Damn it, it's the tab. Is KD. Yeah, KD is that, so I'll map KD for this. So that's actually probably working perfectly fine. Yeah. So, split the space, and then just rejoin everything, so I got that, and then split each of the slashes, and only care about what's after the last one, and there we go. I don't need the .png part though, I don't think. I already ignored that one as well, so yeah. So I want to do one more of those. Split out the dot, you never know, there might be multiple other dots, and then I want to splice that dot length -1. Just want to remove the last one, and then join it back together again. The dot with dots. In this case, it's going to be texture. And where'd you originally get your information from? Okay. So that should be that. Almost. Okay. Now we should have our texture. Okay, texture. Which should actually work with the CPU texture render. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I don't have that stuff UV mapped. Okay, well, that's understandable. How in the world is that one happening? Maybe I'm not sorting by distance. I might have disabled it. It seems to have some sort of sorting going on. There's no way I could see that actually being true though. Did I disable distance? I mean, it's changing. Apparently I'm sorting. But then perhaps that's all. Do we anything with the sortedness? Or was that for the other one? No, I mean that alone should just do it. I don't know. Whatever. Just the CPU side things. I don't care. The point is, with the CPU side things, I could at the very least get this. Why is the ground transparent? Why are things transparent? Oh, it's just going outside the range and I don't have it looping back. Because it's the CPU side things. Never mind. Oh, I guess that's not gonna work then. Alright, whatever. So supposedly that should be a thing now when it's understood. What am I doing? Soldiers everywhere. Nope. Platform. Upload. What did that break? Why is the highlighter blue? That's weird. Great, nothing broke. You'd have looks like that. Can I see things? Scene dot models. Is it still files? Data? Where did I put it? Maybe game? Oh, 3 of them. Yeah, game. 3 of them. Okay, so we got the image for a texture here, but I never... I shouldn't have one. Where'd you go? Was that just actually assigning the literal thing, or was it just naming it? It was actually assigning it, wasn't it? Yeah. Well that should have just been sort of destroying it. Map KD should be found after the KD. Go line by line. So it should be seeing that afterwards. Okay, log. I mean that is correct, right? As far as I can tell. What am I doing? What are you? It seems to be. Yeah, that seems to be correct. Oh god. So why did that not override the matte texture? Because the one I was looking at didn't actually have a matte texture. No, should have. Moss. Well, yeah, they should all have textures. Is it because it's been over? Nope, there we are. Texture. Oh, okay, it just shows it as that, but that it's actually just text. But it could be overridden. There's nothing checking to see if this material actually exists first. Yeah. Do I got a name? Moss. Okay. Huh. If this material already exists, then we can just break out of it, break out of the loop, and there we go. Okay, so now we need this thing to do what it's supposed to be doing. So just to check, we don't have any .pngs or whatever. Images or textures? Never decide. Yeah, there's no PNG whatever's there, so that should be fine. And I just look for that in here. Blam. So now that should toss up a whole heck of a lot of errors. Sana? Oh. Oh. Huh. Interesting. What? Okay, it didn't come up with errors, and it also didn't log. Okay. I am confused. What? 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 Huh? Oh, it's been so annoying. It wants to fall over, but it's always falling over in the direction I don't want it to fall over in, no matter which way I turn it. Whatever. Okay, what's going on here? How did I make this thing suddenly not exist anymore? Because it's returning? If the material does not exist, then we make it exist. Oh, what? What? Because it doesn't need to do this if the material already exists. What am I missing here? How am I even assigning this to the object? So by default, it equals the default thing, which is pattern 3. If we got an MTL, then what? How do I do this? What? So that's assigning the object material. If the object material of this material does not exist, then I'm saying that it's equal to this. And then this is equal to that, okay. That's if it does not exist. If it does exist, then this is already run. We don't need to do it again. So material just breaks. Okay. Which means it has been run before. It is assigning it to the correct material. It's not assigning it to the correct material? Why did you do this? Why do I keep pressing that? Object material equals... If what? Hang on, what the world's going on here? What is the what? So I have materials. Where are materials stored? In the object. So the object materials, what is this? This is the object, right? So where do I keep materials? I don't? I mean object materials. Where does object material come from? Default material textures. Oh, okay, whatever, let's just not care about it. That should work fine. I want that, or do I want the texture? I feel like I want texture. I think that logs different information. And I think it just skipped uploading the file, but whatever, it's got the other one. What? Come here, kitty. What are you doing? What have I done now? Somehow missed that. Where'd the music go? Splice of undefined, that's a new one. Click on one damn window and listen, all your tabs are out of whack. Huh? 364. What? So removing that one would just give me that. Okay. What? Three, 6, 4, apparently so. What is this? Why did I just make a notification sound? This looks so random deciding that stuff. Okay, what is this? Yeah, that seems acceptable. You seem entirely acceptable. It's exactly what that's supposed to be. Do I have an extra space in here or something? No. Okay. So then that would just be this thing, but each thing's an array with no spaces. In an array with no spaces. Yes. What's the problem? If that's fine, then I should be able to splice out the first index. Wait, but apparently this is undefined? Why is that undefined, but literally the exact same thing is not undefined? Yes, kitty cat, you still exist. What? Side by side. Literally the exact same thing, absolutely no difference whatsoever in the slightest. One's just assigned to a variable, the other one's just directly, without being assigned. And the other one's just displaying what's assigned. One of them is something, the other's undefined. Is it because this thing messed it up and it broke instancing? Instancing error, I guess? I don't know. But why would it give a damn? Okay, so putting this here should say whatever was in the first index, which is KD. Okay. Failing to see any problems here. Why are you saying this is a problem? What if I delete this? Because it worked fine until I put that there. What object is this? What? Sure, if that's what you want to be called. MOS4. That's this one. What's the problem? Why does it have all the extra words after it? What? I don't understand. What? It's perfectly fine. Why is it not perfectly fine? Why do these problems always happen? What if I flip the order? I don't know. No, what? But How does it? I don't understand. Ugh. We have a variable, and it is what it is, and then it isn't what it was. But literally nothing has changed between the two. How did it suddenly not become what it is anymore? Okay, if it's an instancing error, then deep copy. Nope, still undefined. 365. 365. Okay, do this again? Huh? No? And once again, this is still entirely correct for no particular reason. I mean, because it's supposed to be, but it's still broken for no particular reason. But it only breaks when assigning the variable. Wait, what? Oh, that to be up here. Because why not? So it works perfectly acceptably, but the variable says it's undefined. And afterwards it still works perfectly acceptably.
Vampire frog, P.
Hello. Do you see any problem with this? I don't understand what's going on. I am assigning this to that variable.
Backslash, backslash.
Why is that happening again? Didn't I get rid of all the backslashes? Fine, let's look at that again. Well, I know for absolute certain I can supposedly just splice the backslashes out, so I don't know why that wasn't working before.
Vampire frog, backslash, 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 backslash.
Okay, let me just turn off the chat thing. Where'd the chat thing go? So why do I do that thing again? Oop. So supposedly, all I would need to do... Oh, because I was doing a batch thing. Alright, whatever. That would work. Join. Let me do a kitty cat.
Vampire frog, you can do MSG, replace, program. So you don't need the while.
That's... Yeah, it's just
You
always
need the
done it.
slash
Why is
key
it still
flag.
talking it out? I turned off the log. That usually stops it. Weird. That'll work. Okay, now my chat's just not loading. Did I break it? Nope, it's just doing that thing where it tries to load absolutely everything entirely from scratch again. Nope. Okay, I didn't just break this, did I? Oh yeah. Oops. That equals that, and that equals that. There we are. I'm just not going to start spamming. Okay. So now it shouldn't say backslashes at all.
Vampire Frog, Z.
There you go. It still says twice as many as there should be, though. I guess I could just sort of fix that by, where am I at? Alright, let's put one of those there. Oh yeah. I think that should do that, right? But I'm not gonna refresh it now. Save that for later. Okay. So what the world's going wrong with this thing? I have a variable, and it is assigned to be this thing split at space.
Vampire Frog, wow, those string skills.
Yeah, well, I have a variable, and it is equal to this thing. And I can print that, so I know exactly what this thing equals, and it shows exactly what that thing is equal to. And then just because I can, I'm doing the exact same thing again, so that should
Just
be...
do MSG equals MSG, replace, program.
that should be the exact same thing as what is logged right there, right? Nothing that would be going wrong here. And then just in case, I'm doing a deep copy of this thing, so I know exactly what that is, what that variable is at that time, what it's assigned to be, and it's not going to have any problems with things later on messing with it. So it's going to be logging exactly what it is at this time. And then I'm just doing that thing again one more time, just to make sure that this thing split is what it's supposed to be doing. And then I splice. 0, 1. Okay. Color is color. This thing will have an array. This removes the first index of that array, right? No confusion about what should be going on there in the slightest. Make sure, do a change, save, upload the newest version. So the logs should be exactly the same as what that variable is. No differences.
Vampire Frog, I remembered a game that I used to play a lot, and that's an engine that would be nice to be rewritten from scratch.
Okay, so why do I get it undefined? What is going on here? Damn it, tapping. Stay. So the first thing I log is this
Or
thing.
just the idea of it, cooperative editing of levels.
And this thing is that. So it's an array, it contains these things. I just want to remove the first index of it. So then I assign literally the same thing that's logged to this variable. Then I do a deep copy of that, which is logged.
It's called Cube2, Sauerbraten.
And it's undefined. And then I log this again just to make sure, and it is exactly what it's supposed to be. So do you know what's going on here?
It has many limitations, but the co-op editing was a lot of fun.
What is the difference between logging this thing and assigning it as a variable, where assigning it as a variable makes it equal to undefined? How is one undefined and the other one not? What is happening here? Everything is completely broken until I can figure out why this is happening. Why is it undefined? Mat color equals the exact same thing that's being logged. This is how you assign things after doing a split, right?
Vampire Frog,
many times
maybe
before.
your deep copy thing has aids. Us use JSON, stringify.
Nope. I'll get rid of the deep copy thing, and also that extra one. So I'm logging what this is, and then how did I keep what keeps turning this thing back on? I don't understand. Ah. So there we go. I'm logging what this is, and then I got that exact same thing assigned to this variable, and then I'm logging this variable. This time without the deep copy part. The deep copy part's just to make sure that it's not being messed with other variables doing instancing problems. And the first one works, but when I assign it to the variable and log the variable is undefined. So that works perfectly fine. But I assign it to a variable, and the variable is undefined. Where have I messed up here? We're not even caring about that. And well, that's just assigning it, logging it, assigning it a second time just to make sure, and then logging it. So I don't even need that one. Just assigning, logging the exact same thing that should have just been assigned, and then logging the assigned number, assigned variable. Why is this undefined? What have I done? What am I missing here? One more time, save and upload. Why did that seem to take a little longer to upload? Oh, it's the functions file. So we have it existing, but then the variable didn't have it. What if I delete it all? Save. Upload it. And I'm assuming things should be broken. Three six four. Still what? Literally the exact same line. Okay, so that one also doesn't like working. Okay, let's delete all of this. Upload. Refresh. So that's all that back. No errors. Undo, save, re-upload. Did that magically fix something? Nope. What? Okay. That is equal to this. Does that work? Yeah, that one works. Okay. So that one's still undefined. What if I do that again? But this is equal to this. Nope, it's undefined again. What if I put an extra letter on that? Undefined. Whatever. What if I change more letters? Undefined. And if I just assigned it to another random variable? Okay, now it exists again. So it's something to do with the mat part of this? I don't understand. Oh, is it because that's like that? That'll do it. I mean, I don't understand how that would be doing it, but I imagine that would fix everything now. Which doesn't make any sense at all, but whatever. There you go. So I'll think about it. It supposedly just works now. And that's all that should be. Okay. Still didn't give me errors though. I'm looking for errors here. It's supposed to be a heck of a lot of errors. Well, some large amount of errors. 24 undefined. What? Oh, okay. Huh. So it's just saying, why would I think that would be an error? I don't know. Okay, great. Now textures. Textures. Where did I put you? There. Textures. Which textures do I want? Let's just upload them raw. Going in raw. Oh, that one as well. Bet that one's a big one. Nope, that one's a small one too. Okay, sure. Doopy doopy doop. Wow, it's a giant moth. How'd you get in here? Okay. Upload the textures. Turn on my light. Damn it, I'm too tired. I'm gonna do stuff tonight. Okay, so now I shouldn't have undefines. Should have a whole lot of images. Nope, still gonna have a whole lot of undefines because I didn't tell them to load. Where did the stuff go? What? Anyway. Loaded in the textures. Grab you. That one. And for that one. And that one. And that one. Yay, more loading screen stuff. Ah, I just uploaded the entire game into the textures folder. Whoops. Let's not worry about that. Just gonna have a copy in there for no particular reason from now on. Refresh. More textures. Haha. Okay. So supposedly that should show it now, but it's no. Maybe that's an override. That's some sort of other textures loading. Why is it loading that one? Oh, it would have just been displaying, never mind. Okay. That's not gonna work. Let's, I mean, UV space should be correct. It's just looking at the wrong images on the graphics side, so let's put that one up. What do you happen again? Setup. And you do what? Where? There. This. What does that change? Everything should be now all green. Very green. Lots of green. Everything's gonna be a fern. But the places that should be a fern should be textured correctly. I mean, I seem to have transparencies. Why is it all black though? Huh. Something weird's going on here. That's not textured correctly at all. Okay. What if I put the seamless steel thingy? So now the ground should be textured correctly. No. It's not right at all. Ah, file sizes is wrong. It thinks it's bigger than it is. Much bigger than it is. Oh boy. I'm assuming it's some sort of glitching according to that. So how big are you? Should be able to get the size out of the image itself, right? Yeah, image width, image height. Oh wait, yeah, but that needs to be uploaded. Okay, that's a manual change, so I don't know, just try to see if it's actually mapping correctly. Where am I looking? Did I just manually put it somewhere? That. Wow, this is actually quite large. Huh. Load. Why does that look like to me? Whatever. Refresh. So now the floor should be a floor. Oh, where's my floor? Why did you not huh? There's a floor. That's not right at all. Is something else not right? I mean, that's... I believe that should be the only place that I gotta do that.
Vampire Frog, I am back. How did you fix it?
I messed with the piece of code before and there was a variable that wasn't defined, which should have been defined, and if it wasn't defined there should have been much more errors than that, so I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. Some sort of an error. The object the variable was defined within didn't exist, basically. Yet it didn't complain about that, it just complained about the thing inside of the thing that didn't exist. Which, it didn't even exist, it didn't complain about anything. Apparently the thing that didn't exist apparently did exist. But then the thing within it didn't exist, well, it existed as an undefined, not a null or anything. I don't know. Did I manually change something with the UV sizes of objects in here?
Vampire Frog, crazy.
Yep. Nope, I'm just rounding them. I can't remember how I did texturing. Maybe I do something? I mean, I doubt I would, but maybe? When I upload the UV space it has... It's been scaled? Where am I doing that? That's up here now. Update. Nope. Vertices. UV is just vert UV. Where does vert UV come from? I think that just gets carried around. Nothing should be happening with that. Yeah, that shouldn't be getting scaled. That should just be a 0 to 1 thing. And that's just what UV is. And then you go just times to the texture size, which that should be the size of the texture, according to what this says. Yep. What am I missing here? should be all fine. Is it not looping? No, even then it's the wrong scale. Those are correctly UV'd. Why is it all transparent? It's like it's not looping. Oh. Oh, okay. I don't think I want this to be happening. Yeah. Okay. Skin cat still exists. Play kitty. Why don't you just walk away? Just meows and walks away. What are we doing? So let's just say that is this. And then this. Will be what happens on the graphics card side. So it should automatically understand that as a float. And that's not how this works, does it? Does it? How do I do modulus on the graphics card again? First off, what happens if I just have that? So now I should have a correctly located square. Single square. With the polygon. Refresh. There we go. Correctly located square. Good place for it to be, but hey. Which does mean that... Damn it, tabbing. Why did you ever stay still? I need an extra screen, damn it. I have to tab around the place then. Yeah, so now I gotta do this thing, whatever this thing was. So I'm doing that, modulus 1, and then adding it back in again. And then this gets times by the texture size. Is that how that worked? Didn't I? Whatever. Times that. Okay, how do I do modulus? I feel like I want to say mod or something. I have no clue where I might have used this. Color hue? Yep. Must have used it somewhere. Maybe it is just the percentage thing? feel like if anywhere I would have it here somewhere for some reason. Nope. Okay. Oh, it's just you assume it's a percentage thingy still. Ah, it's not, is it though? Oops. Okay. Yeah, mod. What's the mod by? I guess that thing. Thumb tabs. Goop. So this would be mod. And 1. Huh. Okay. I think that should be right. Well, let me know when it's not. Where are all those logs? Okay. Line 1000. What did I do wrong? So the mod of the UV minus a very small number modulus by 1 plus the very small number and then times 130. That feels like it's correct to me. Mod. Oh. Wait, what? Oh. 0.0. 0.0. Weird how it just didn't tell me a float error, but whatever. Oh yeah, it's a float. Okay. There we are. The door doesn't actually have a UV. Not quite sure what it's showing. I don't think it knows either. And this is fun on the eyeballs. Crouch. What's my crouch button? C. Should have it be E when it's not, when I'm on the ground. Why am I busy? Now my tabs are all messed up again, of course. Okay, I don't think that's got a UV either. I guess it just does by default. Whatever. That seems smaller than it should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay, this is correct. Yeah, actually, the height of the place seems about right. A little bit lower than I thought it was. That's fine. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, let's try it with the smudge. Because the smudge thing is not actually transparent. So I'm going to have to make that transparent. I wonder if I can do that with the compression-y thing. Which one's the smudge one? Probably that one. Smudge. And then this becomes 1806. Sure. By 1218. Fluid, exactly the right height. I think it's reflecting. Well, it just doesn't know what to do with the door. Well, there's a smudge map. It's upside down, damn it. I couldn't really see what I was doing when I put it on the things. Or it is actually upside down. Okay, is that actually upside down? No! Oh, I have inverted the colors. No? I didn't. Interesting. I clearly see the drip part's going down. Drip part's going down. It's got some messy stuff around that top corner. Not right at all, is it? Completely wrong. Huh. Did I mess up a number? One 806 by 1218. Huh. Is it something to do with the way I do that? I mean, I feel like actually this one should be entirely within the correct thing. No, it's not, damn it. Alright. Well then, I guess it's flipped an axis. Yeah. Ron did flip it. So that's flipped the y-axis. You are apparently a negative. You can never tell if that thing is going to flip or not. But then, why hasn't? Oh, I missed a piece. Right, flip that. That's how you flip that. Never mind. That's why that would never have been a problem till now. Ah. about right. Seems more smushed. I don't know, just put that down to the field of view. And I seem to have perfectly fine performance right now, so let's up the resolution. A little too low res. Or I could just make the window smaller. What should I up it to? The wrong way. No. Let's go for that one. Double it. I mean, no. What? My pixels don't feel stretched. Ah, let's just go all the way. Let's go 720. Refresh. Wow, so much sharper. Look at them pixels. Oh god, the lag. Really? That's 7? Why is it so laggy? Okay. I don't know what just happened then. Let's give that one a go with it. That feels way higher resolution. I got that wireframe problem again. I guess it was just too small to be able to see it. It's too low res. That's a bit better. Okay. Skyboxes always seem to have that problem for me. Okay, whatever, that's a thing. Let's try with the transparent texture. Just to see what transparent things do, because I can't remember how I made that work. I want to use that texture. And that texture is... 886. Five 507. Why am I not going out tonight, damn it? It's too late now. And nothing changed? I didn't upload. Oh, that's laggy. Whoa, why is that so laggy? I guess because transparencies. That seems to be about right. Oh, it's not lagging anymore. Or I got used to it. Oh. It's right on the limit of... Wait, what? Yeah, it's right on the limit of transparent links. That's cool. Tor still doesn't know what's up. Well, if I'm gonna be messing with that, let's mess around with that. Give everything a UV. Smart unwrap. that the one I just did? Don't know. Okay. And that ground as well too small. How much should it be? I feel like a little low. That'll do. Export. And where did you go? There you are. Where do you go? There you go. Wait for that to upload. 30, 20. Done. Oh. We're on real quick now. Oh. I don't know what that was all about. Oh. Oh, I forgot to unhide the hidden things. Oops. Okay. So what sort of a alpha am I doing? I think I'm just doing a clip. Yeah, I think I'll just straight up, if it's got more than a certain amount of alpha in it. Oh wait, no, look at that one. That one's semi-transparent. Maybe I'm not just doing a clip. Okay. Oh, now it's super laggy again. Oh, now it's back. Oh yeah. We have a door. Oh, that twitchy pixels, damn it. Oh. Oh, okay. Z depth is weird. Visualization of rounding errors. Okay. But the great metals should be better on the ground now. So, well, I'm using multiple images now, and everything should understand what that image is, so now I gotta make the dynamic image atlas. I am not prepared to do that sort of level of coding right now. Other than that, the door animation would be nice. Also being able to highlight things. I want it to highlight when I mouse over it or some sort of a thing like that. How would I do that? I think originally I was just going to go for that on the CPU side. The CPU could just literally create a box, overlays it, job done. But that's not going to do until I get the camera stuff working, so alternatively I could put that on the graphics card side, so if it's got a... I don't want to do a highlight toggle though. But that seems to be the best way to do that. If the object has a highlight toggle, then mix in a different color with it. That's how I turn reflections on. It only reflects where the material, where it's not transparent. Then the transparent limit stops it from working so well. Whatever. There you go. Again, what those buttons are. Oh, I didn't put those buttons in the button thing. Huh. No. Go away. 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 Okay. Let's dump that stuff and that thing and everything on go. Am I gonna go? Damn it! I mean, it's already too late to do anything. Damn it, lazy days. Knew I shouldn't have played that game, but there I was playing it anyway. I wasn't expecting it to be so fun. Just mindless fun, though. Endless amounts of mindless fun. And I want to actually play it again. Rather annoying. Yeah. Where am I? Oh, everything's gone and unminimized itself. When that happened. What is what? So, bounding boxes, wireframe, textured. Ugh. Thing's too long. Let's just split it there. filter go? Yeah. So 0 bounded boxes, 9 wireframe, 8 textured. I should make a toggle gravity button or something. It gets bigger. Why does the text become bigger? It should be like well out over there now. Alright. So yeah, well, I could do the texture atlas thing. What in the world would that even mean? So I'd have to have a library of all the textures that are currently loaded onto the graphics cards and their relative position in a 2K, a 4K image, for the two corners of it, and then I want to add another texture to it if it doesn't already exist. This image texture atlas would be stored on the graphics card, so I need to send the image to the graphics card in one of the texture slots, which means I need to do the whole texture slot thing, because that's a big mess at the moment. I need to send it up in a texture slot and then render it out onto a frame buffer slot with the locations it was rendered to, which would just be looping through the pixels, slaps it on, nearest neighbor mixing, because it's just our simplest way. I think it's nearest neighbor, I don't know. Scraps a pixel, puts it down. Skips a certain amount of pixels, puts it down. Easy. And then, if you need another texture, okay, hang on, this is more complicated. So we need to have the textures there on the atlas, we need to know their locations. We also need to know if anything's using that texture currently within the information being sent to the graphics card. And then if we have something new, we want to know if there's enough room to just put it in the 4K image. If there is, great, stick it in. Which means I need to figure out some way of doing that. And it's not going to be anything too fancy. I guess I'm just going to put the first one at 0, 0 in whatever size, and then the next one's going to check to see if there's enough room to the left, enough room to the bottom. Whichever one, put it down. And then I could sort of just continually do that, because I know that one at the bottom, the height it is at, there should be nothing to the right of it, and then nothing below it. So I could just shuffle it one thing to the side. That should work. Simple enough. Okay, but if there isn't enough room, then there's two choices I could do. Three choices I could do. I could check to see if there's textures that nothing is currently using, and then reshuffle that entire image accordingly, unless this new image fits within that area. So if the new image fits within the area, we can just plonk it down override. If it doesn't fit, then we can remove it from the list of things, I guess sort the images by size, plonk them all down, and just put it back in the image again if there's enough room. So we can pre-calculate all that before doing that. And then, there you go. The third alternative, so overriding, shuffling, or scaling. So I could, if there still isn't enough room after shuffling it, we could make all of the images slightly smaller than a 1-to-1 of what their original things were. So they all fit. And then there you go. I could put in pretty much as many as I want to that image, and they're just going to get compressed out of existence. But it would work. Then as something gets unloaded, we can just pop the whole thing back out again. That's another way. Or the fourth way is I could have a second texture atlas frame buffer thing. I think I could have like 4 of them. So there's 8 textures in total that I can have on the graphics card. One of them's the data. One of them will have to be the texture atlas, regardless. One of them could be a baked light map buffer thing, which is actually a whole lot more complicated now. I guess I could take it back off the graphics card and put it back onto the canvas again, and then save it out as an image that way. So each texture would also have a light map texture, either way. So yeah, data, texture, light map. Let's just say a possible other texture for, yeah, okay, then more images isn't going to really work that well then. Yeah, one more placeholder texture, because maybe I want more texture information, like specular or something like that, because each one of those is going to need their own texture thing. And then if I got multiple atlases, each one of those are also going to need an extra atlas. Unless I just store them all on one atlas. I guess that works too. Okay. Sure, why not? There's no reason I can't do that. Okay. So I'm definitely going to need another atlas then at some point. So what have we got? Data, texture atlas, buffer. Just a general buffer information layer. Did I have something else? I thought I had one more thing. The light map can go on the texture atlas now. Then. So, no. That should be fine. Okay. Well, that's the next thing. Other than that, animations. So I could look around the different file formats, see if there's one that I can just export out the T-shape animations with, which would be nice. Just 2 different variations of where vertices could be. Otherwise, I am going to need to somehow define if an OBJ file is part of the animation thing. Okay, there is a way I can do that, I can think of. So I could put some sort of a character at the end of a file name, and if it sees that, then it knows it's part of an animation thing. So I could have the original one, and then I could have the altered name version of it, which will not have an MTL file, because it... Although I could actually do that as well. I could have colors be changed depending on where it's at in the animation thing, or colors could be animated all the same. Vertice colors. But I could also do blending between textures, I could do all sorts of stuff. Well, for now, let's not worry about that. So, yeah. I would have the original object, and then another object with a named special character on the end of it that it looks for, and if it has that, then it knows it's attached to the one without that, so you can attach the two together, and it also will not have an MTL file, or whatever it's called. And that would be the first check. So if it doesn't have an MTL file, then maybe it's an animation thing. Okay. And then I could have as many animation files as I wanted to blend between each individual one, and they would just be all shoved into an array for the locations. So a vertice would have multiple locations. Yeah, just this generic location, then like location A, that's a loc. Locate, whatever. Locate 0, 1, 2, 3 will have many I want. And then I could prioritize those as well, which I'm not sure how I'd want to do that. I mean, I guess that would just be done code-wise, so I can blend between like 0 and 1, and then blend between whatever that is and 2. I'm not sure how blending really works. I'm assuming that's how you would do it. Not sure what sort of things you can do to optimize that. But technically I could do that through as many layers as I want. So layer 0 could be, you know, idle position 1, idle position 2, idle position 3, blends between those 3 parts, never being entirely just one of them. And that way, like, you could have your character just bopping up and down, you know, bending their knees and straightening it back up again. But because it's not just blending between 1 and
Step
2...
8 soy false.
False, you say? Let me just check this. Why did that say false? I don't have all those things connected correctly yet. So false is apparently a follower. Let me just have a look at that. Boopty boop, where are you? Good for a follower. What does a follower do? I'm assuming this thing is a special thing. Okay, actually you should have actually straight up said what that was. Yeah, there we are. Follower. Follow. Well, that's entirely wrong, isn't it? So 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, never mind. You're just a 3. And then 0 would be the just followed. Which is, that went 1 before, which said false. Okay. So, yeah, okay, that should be that. Why did it say false? Hang on. That doesn't feel right. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then 0. I feel like that should have been undefined. Whatever. Just give it a test. Don't really know how that just happened, but okay. False. Oh, okay, what is this? What? Oh, that's nice. Okay. Nope, that's not how you do that. Missing 0? Ah, there we go. Ah, that's cool. Huh, never realized I could do that. Okay, so apparently that was a 2. In which case, that was all fine, so why did it say undefined? So that wasn't that. Follow was in a HTML. Oh, undefined because it didn't. That wasn't message. Okay. So the problem is with. No. Yes. This. Action was to follow. I'm assuming it blooped up with a different color or something. Wait, it just made the normal bloop sound. I guess I don't have a sound that follows. And message was who knows what. Wait, what? Well, message was undefined. It also spoke. Whatever. What am I looking for? What am I doing? Where was that? What's happening? So message wouldn't have been a thing. We got follow instead. Follow exists as a thing. Message is follow. If follow is not equal to false, but it said false. So why did it say that? It's not equal to undefined. Triple equals false. But it got the action correct. Then the message should have been follow. follow would have been the correct thing. Confusing. Okay, what did the chat say? Okay. The chat said action was a message. The message was false. Okay. Wait, no, what? Okay, so that was a thing that said something. And that was not this, and that was not that. So the action should have been follow. Does it just default to message? Weird. What was follow? False. Damn it, Kitty! Why are you chirping at me? Play or don't play, pat or don't pat. Just sit there meowing at me. What's going on? So that did just say just followed. Message should have just been that. Action would have been this. But no, what? So that shouldn't have been empty. I don't know what's going on. That was not equal to undefined. Follow was a thing. Maybe it's because of this? So if this was the wrong thing, then it should have been undefined. Or null even. I don't even know what that is. Undefined, okay. Sure, let's just try to remove that, and maybe that works. So follow should be not equal to undefined. Action would have been a follow. Message would have been whatever the follow thing says. And everything should be perfectly fine. Well, who knows when the next follow is going to happen. Test that. Refresh. Okay, what's happening? I'm just ranting. So, glitchy. What was I rant about? That should do whatever that was. So if I blend between 3 different things rather than just going from point A to point B to point C, because I got things I could do weighting with the action blending whatever by using the linear color changing whatever thing I created was, which just takes in a number and blends it between 0 and, well, blends it between other numbers. So I can have like 0, 1, 0, and then if I put in 0.5, it's 1. So, you know, whatever. So I could just have that for the maximum values of each of the things along the animation curve. And that way I could do that. But it's just linear blending between them. But whatever, I can create other blending things if I can figure them out. And that way, if they were, say, bending their knees to jump, instead of it being like standing, knees bent, and then completely like kneeling sort of a thing, it would have a curve, so they would never have their knees completely bent. It would curve around it, whatever, in a linear fashion, but whatever. So Yeah, and then I could do that, but it's a whole lot more complicated if I wanted to blend between multiple blendings of things. So, say your character was doing the jump animation, but then you got hit and you start flying back, like you hit the chest and you get knocked backwards. So I could get where I am currently within the bending of the knees animation, and then stop that animation and start blending it with the, like, arms and legs forwards, like flying backwards sort of animation. No, oh my god, that would look absolutely terrible. Because I'm not dealing with boats. So the distance between the vertices are not going to be kept. It's not going to be pivoting around. It's just going to be suddenly the vertices that were in the bent position start moving towards where they would be in the other position. Oh boy, that would look real weird. Oh man. It's like every vertice is on a piece of string being pulled towards the direction it wants to be at from A to B. There's no curving, no dynamic stuff. Ah, music stopped again. And then started playing when I tapped to it. Okay. So, but hey, from A to B ones, A to B C, that should be working fine. That should work fine. For something like opening and closing the doors, it's perfectly okay. I guess sounds is another thing I don't have. Particles. Okay. But I want to get the texture atlas working before that one. So I suppose the texture atlas will have to be the first thing that I do. And then I want particles of bubbles going up and down the tanks every now and again. Which is going to be complicated. I got to figure out exactly where the positions are. But hey, I can figure that out. I can just click on it and have it literally tell me what locations I just clicked. Then click on one place, and then click the ceiling. I can get what the height is, I can get what the location is, and then I can make that into a particle thing from like there to there, there to there, in a circle, spawn particles to go that high, and you know, put some signs in it so it goes wibbly wobbly all the way up, instead of just going straight up. Because fizzy water bubbles. Gotta have some turbulence in the water. That should be fine. Billboards will be another thing. The particles. I haven't done billboardy thingies before. I could either pre-calculate that on the CPU side, or do it on the GPU side, which will be a complicating thing later on, because that's not going to work with the screen grid optimization. Unless I create a different type of object for that, so any tile within a distance of that tile, which is a heck of a lot more complicated to do. I don't want to be dealing with distances with that, so no. Either that, or I could just say the object is a box. But then only upload. But then it's going to be doing different faces for each, so that'll be multi-rendering it. So that's not going to work. I'd really like it to be on GPU side. I guess it's going to have to be on the CPU side. It's just a whole lot easier doing it that way. A whole lot less stuff's going on. The GPU's got to be calculating that per pixel, where the CPU's just like, blam, there it is. Okay, well that should be easy enough thing to do. Okay, normal maps, displacement maps, I could do those. Not normal maps, displacement maps, because I don't have textures. I could add the same sort of a thing that I did with the, I mean, that's a relatively simple thing to do. So just like what I got with the loading screen to change the color of the faces, I could put that onto the graphics card side. Although the math for that's not entirely correct. But I'll be able to see that pretty well with it. Why does this thing not exist until I move the mouse? Because until I move the mouse it doesn't... I didn't notice that happening before. Oh yeah, it's probably because it's at the bottom of that array. that big line of shit. Where am I? Get out of here. Right place yet? Why is this so long? What is this? Where am I? This isn't right at all. What? Oh, that's the long one. Why is this open again? Wait, that's object jam. Okay. Wow, that's a long one. I'm not even using that anymore. The end of this thing. I should... No? No, I don't. Okay. Huh. Top of this thing? Ah, there you are. Boop. Boop. There we are. That'll fix that. Okay, now I'm getting hungry. Oh no! What is the time? I thought it was like an hour ago to right now. Oh. Now I really have missed out on things. Yes, Kitty, you still exist. Guess I'll cook food today. Didn't I buy a thing? Where did that go? Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Oh, great, I'm starting to feel better now, so... I think I might eat food and then probably not come back. But if I do come back, make the texture atlas. That opens up a whole other world of things, even though the models look like absolute trash. Really wish I would have found someone by now, but you know. I've been saying that for like 15 years or something, I don't even know anymore. So... Texture atlas again. We want to upload an image to be stored on a buffer at a location predefined. So I can at least do the CPU side things. The CPU side things will say from where to where on a 2K image is the location of this square, this texture, this image area, and what it is. And that's going to have to be uploaded to the graphics card in one of its whatever you call that variable. Okay, so there's going to be a limited amount of textures I'll be able to upload. But whatever, we just said like 50. It's just going to need to know where it starts. Like one corner, the other corner, what it is. How do I tell what it is? Oh, that's interesting. I can't say words. Okay, I can just relate it to a number. So each texture will just have a number depending on where its index is, and then the material information of that face's that face just has a material, and then its texture information will be a number according to translated into a number according to be where it's stored within the array, which is where it's stored on the image. So image 0 might be this plant one. Image 1 might be the grate, whatever, the grate texture, and then it just looks at when it uploads the information of that material, it will just say, wait, how do you know what materials are? I don't have materials being uploaded. Damn it, I really don't want to have to go changing that whole system. Is there a way I can just integrate it directly into it? Each face could just store its texture information. Why would a face not have a texture? I mean, it might not. I mean, that's entirely acceptable. I'd like it if I didn't have to have textures. But sure, let's just override the material slot with the texture slot for now because there's no difference. No difference. So yeah. Each face, depending on what material it is, and if that material is stored in where that material is stored in the array, it just gets its number. Then when it looks on the graphics card side, it just sees that number, goes to that index, that's its texture coordinates, that's its texture. I should be able to do looping things to keep everything repeating, and it won't go to the texture next to it, so that should be all perfectly acceptable. Per pixels, what a benefit. And yeah, that it's just the whole adding things to the text trailer. So you upload an image, you put the image into a texture slot, you set its mode to be only doing that thing. It will then... Should I integrate it into the same program, as they call it, I think? Or should I try to create new programs for the graphics card things? Really damn nice if I could separate it into a different file. Makes it a heck of a lot easier to find errors. And also, I would be able to put it into the loading screen. But as far as I was Googled, I can't do that. Although I can dynamically create them, can't I? But that makes it even more, like, massive pain to find where errors are. Because the line numbers won't relate to how I'm connecting things together. Literally all I'm doing in that case is just making it a string. Guess. I'll have to look more into that. For now, I guess I'll just integrate it within it. So yeah, just set it to be the mode. Here's the texture. We want to put it from here to here. The texture size is there to there. Plonk it down. Just loops through, puts it all in, saves it to the buffer, switches back the mode, renders like normal. Just build that into a function. Upload an image, tell it where to go. That's all that does. I'd like to be clearing information, but yeah, it's good enough. Okay. Need an extra mode for the visualizing of it to see that everything is actually being put down as it should do, but that should be fine. Okay. Am I going now? Am I gonna get food? Is that what the plan was? Yeah, I'm hungry. I wanna get food. Okay, I guess I'll get stuck into that when I come back. Oh boy. I'd really like to upgrade how this thing gets uploaded though. Make debugging a whole lot easier. Wherever that thing went. As far as I understand, all I'm basically doing is just putting the whole thing... Like, this is just a big long string. And then I combine it together, but then how do I assign it into this thing? That's the question. Because if I could do that, then technically I could upload this to the server as a text file. And then you can just be dumped down and translated. And that way I could have this in its own file. And everything would be good. You'll be able to see on line 1 is line 1. Okay. So I'll look into that. And then do the rest of it. Okay. Ramble. So hopefully I'm just gonna eat food and I'll be back in like hopefully later.